The pride of his homeland, a master of his craft, and the last remaining giant of his generation. To consider Manny Pacquiao as one of the best fighters ever going into 2020 stands as somewhat of an understatement, attaining unparalleled achievements within the sweet science and standing as one of the world's most influential figures. And so, breaking down the argument for Fighter of the Decade, the story, as expected, narrows down to two contrasting figures. A record-breaking and era-defining rivalry, which saw two men from opposite ends of the globe mesmerize the entire sporting world. Here we break down one side of the argument by summing up Manny Pacquiao's incredible achievements over the past 10 years, a span that has seen revenge, redemption, and rewards beyond our wildest expectations. Please click the thumbs up button, subscribe, and press the bell button as we look at why Manny Pacquiao could be considered the Fighter of the Decade. Welcome to a Motivedia presentation. Pacquiao started out the decade following one of his career best performances against Miguel Cotto.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Pacquiao is a quick starter. And if I had to lean towards a fighter, I would say Pacquiao.
A night that saw him crowned the first ever 7-weight world champion in his move up to welterweight. However, the year opened with bad news, with Floyd Mayweather negotiations breaking down, ruling out a 2010 mega fight.
He will not fight him if he doesn't agree to the drug
like I said before, we focus on Mosley. You know, that's what you guys.
Not answering the question.
Instead, Manny opened against tough Ghanaian fighter Joshua Clottey.
I know who I am, and I know what I can do. So I don't think any opponent can take me light.
And as expected, he dominated with blistering hand speed and tireless work rate.
Bang! Bang! Bang!
Taking every single round.
You seemed reluctant to exchange punches with him. Why was that?
Yeah, because you see, he's fast.
8 months later, Pacquiao signed the deal to make yet another sensational move up in weight. This time, a 154-pound bout against ill-famed Mexican fighter Antonio Margarito. Seemingly unable to miss, fans saw a boxing clinic in another of the Filipinos' most mesmerizing performances.
That's a pretty big guy you just beat up. What was that like?
The night of the fight, I was 148 pounds and Margarito 165 pounds. The commission asked me, "Are you going to defend your title?" "No, never mind, give it to them."
Now 8 world champion, Pacquiao entered 2011 with an air of invincibility.
But it's amazing how he succeeds beyond the wildest imagination.
And it showed as he scored another landslide victory, putting 50-fight veteran Sugar Shane Mosley onto a survival mission.
Okay, now we can stop debating about this, Shane. We see it's that way.
Next, in a night billed as the 25th round, the Filipino faced previous 2-time opponent Juan Manuel Marquez. Though, in what was supposed to erase all doubt from the previous two,
Manny, did you think you won the fight when the bell rang?
Yes.
You thought you won the fight?
Yeah, that's why we have a third fight.
the third fight brought even more controversy.
There's a hard right hook by Pacquiao.
Scraping a majority victory after an all-out war, Pacquiao moved to 54-3-2.
We always have distractions and so forth, and usually the distractions don't get to me, but something got to me this time. It was a close fight.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
6 months on, 2012 sparked another dramatic trilogy, the first bout against Tim Desert Storm Bradley.
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was scared out of my mind.
See Bradley doing his best to
to not let the moment get to him, but he is clearly tightly wound.
I had my goal in mind, but at the same time, it was just like, how hard does he punch?
There goes Morales!
How fast is he?
Fast. Amazingly fast.
This time, despite countering effectively and doing visible damage, the decision went against Pacquiao in a controversial split decision.
And new WBO welterweight champion of the world, Timothy! Did you think you won the fight?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Adding insult to injury came his second loss of the year, this time in dramatic and unquestionable fashion.
Back and tries to roar back the nail Pacquiao with the right.
The harrowing sight just before his 34th birthday echoed all the signals of a finished fighter. Refusing to accept his decline and ignoring media criticism, Pacquiao's return was imminent. And from late 2013, the next 12 months saw an emphatic comeback. The Filipino overwhelmed Brandon Rios in China with speed and movement.
He uses that right hand better than any southpaw I can remember. Look at that. A combination, but he always starts with the right hand.
Convincingly ended Tim Bradley's undefeated record in their MGM rematch.
Backs Bradley up. Goes to the flurry again. Hard left hand by Pacquiao.
And destroyed Chris Algieri at the back end of 2014, scoring a total of 6 knockdowns.
Manny's power is very surprising. He cuts good angles, you think you're safe, and you're not.
Which leads us to the big one. After 6 years of anticipation, billed as the fight of the century. One that, due to never-ending negotiations, became more aptly taglined, "Better late than never." Taking the first 3 rounds across the board, Mayweather gained the early momentum, and with Pacquiao's lackluster punch output, the subdued southpaw lacked his usual energy and aggressiveness, enabling Mayweather to pick his shots, avoid any meaningful damage, and ride out a wide victory across all 3 cards. Disclosing an injured right shoulder and unsatisfied with the decision,
Although there was a problem with the shoulder, whether it existed or not, I always said there was wait. No, hold on.
Pacquiao remained insistent on his eventual rise towards another world title. And so 1 year later, with Floyd now retired at 50-0, Manny's journey restarted with a 3rd victory over Tim Bradley.
He used his experience against me, his ability, and he won a fight tonight. Congratulations to Manny Pacquiao.
And a clinical beating of Jesse Vargas to see out 2016.
And does that work?
He's a very experienced fighter. I give him credit. You know, he's a legend.
8 months on came that memorable night in Queensland, Australia. A night where, despite a career-best performance from Jeff Horn, boxing fans witnessed what would be considered amongst the worst decisions of the decade.
And new Horn Scullies!
Though again, refusing to show any disrespect,
Thank you to all the fans who came here. Thank you so much to all the Filipino people.
the setback would only further motivate the senator. And straight back in at the deep end, in mid to late 2018, Pacquiao took on another Hall of Famer in form of hard-hitting Lucas Matisse. And rolling back the clock in violent style, he put away the Argentinian in the 7th, sending a shockwave throughout the boxing world. Which leads us to the last, and even more impressive 12 months, in which the Pac-Man catapulted himself right in with not only the division's very best, but the pound-for-pound elite. Beating 2 young, live, and hungry champions in Adrian Broner and Keith Thurman.
Do you feel like they're underestimating you?
Man, okay, I'm trying to tell you. You might get punched, Brian.
Broner brought his usual trash talk, was beaten by activity
Pacquiao lands a lead left to the body of Broner.
and accuracy,
Oh, and there's a left hand that backed up Broner.
with Pacquiao's continuous barrages of punches.
In favor of the winner, and still WBA welterweight champion of the world.
Whereas Thurman dropped in the first,
Oh, down goes Thurman.
struggled to find his feet into the middle rounds,
Oh, good right hand left hook by Thurman.
providing too little,
Boxing's pride of the Philippines.
too late. And so now, becoming a 4-time welterweight world champion and standing as the only fighter to have ever been a world champion for 4 successive decades, Manny Pacquiao holds unparalleled achievements in a movie-like roller coaster career, one that, for generations to come, will reflect humility, determination, perseverance, and endear the pride of an entire nation.